Hello everyone and welcome back. In the first two parts of this Redis client series, we made some overview of what we will do. We talked about what we are going to implement. We will have multiple classes for this project. It will be an OOP based project. And we created our main, we called our client, and we called our run function, which is at this moment using Redis client class to connecting to the server. And we have a connect to server function that we call from Redis client.cpp. I want to add another function to my Redis client class, which will be to get which will be an integer. It will get sockfd, which will be a constant. And as a function body, it will be quite simple in this client get sockfd, which will be returning sockfd. And in the client, I will say connected at this client dot get sockfd. This will basically say we are connected to client at this socket, and it will, it's a function, of course. Well, let's see if you are connected. Let's test it quickly. Right, terminal. We'll go to server, and I will be in folder. We will get my Redis client, which shows connected to Redis at 3. If I close the Reddit, we cannot connect to the Redis. That's good. Okay, in this video, we will continue working on the client class, which is this one. As you know, in the terminal, when we call the function and when we execute the program, it just types the output connected or not connected. But we want to keep it open, so we will have a while loop, which will be while 2. And it will have a will show something, a placeholder like this, because if I say this client, it shows something. I also want to show something, but I will be printing what we are connected, so we will say host. And we will also show the port we are connected, and we will have arrow that's showing we are connected. Oops. I am giving them here, but we can also call them. These are placeholders, but we can pass these to client if we need, which I will take care later. No hurries. And this will be our connection loop. Is it? And first of all, we will start by flushing the output because we don't want any old unuseful input to get. So we just flush it first, clean the output or input, and we will use getline to get std input, and we will get it in the line, and if it is not exist, we will break. Getline function helps us getting the input in the string line we created in the variable, and then we will clean the line using trim function, and I will create my own trim function in a moment, but it can stay like this for a moment. And then we will be checking if the line is empty, which we don't want. If the line is empty, then we will continue. And also, as the first command, we will be checking if the line is quit. In that case, we will be saying goodbye new line, and this is our first comment. So basically in while loop we will print the host and port. We will get the input. First we will clean the output, we will flush it, we will get a get line, and we will trim the line. So let me create the helper function to trim the line. I will put at the top simple helper to trim white space, and it will be a static std string trim, which will get constant std string. We can just call it s typo. Okay, as you can see, it will return as a string, so that's why we called std string type to return. It will have the size t start find first not of. So first we will checking for empty space, tab, new line, r, f, v, any of this. And if start is in the and close turn size t and equals dot find last not of space t new line r f v. In that case, we will return s dot substring start and minus start and plus 1. Okay, basically we are checking the white spaces. Any of these are possible. If there's no position, we just turn null if there's nothing. And then we are checking for the end of the we are finding the first, then finding the last, then we are returning the substring of what we get from start to end, but we are removing the index of start plus 1 for the new line, for the end of line, end of string. And basically this will return our cleaned line. And I want to say, try if it's going to work. So let's connect the server. I am connecting to Redis CLI. Right now we only have one function implemented, so let's try it quits, and it is connecting to Redis at port. It is showing us the host and port when it's connected, and it can get input, but it will not do anything because we are only checking for one command, which is at this moment quit. I will have a space here to make it look better. Also, we can get our second built-in command, which will be help. I will make another function show help later, but for now I will say displaying help. Like I said, I will make a show help function later, so it can still act this for now. Say continue. Okay, so now we are looking for our built-in comments. We can split command into tokens, so we can start parsing response and showing the response we get, sending the input we get from user to our Redis server. We will start by splitting command into tokens, and for that we will go back to our main, and as you can see we created our Redis client and client classes, but now we will have command handler and response parser. And as you can see, we are about to split our commands, so we will need to create command handler classes. I say command handler.h and .cpp. Oops, I created them in the. Let's move them into client and start implementing command handler. I will say this will be fairly straightforward, and in the header file I will start by if and def command handler h, and also define this. It will be if h, and we will have class for command handler, which will have two parts, public and private. In the public, we will have split arguments function, which will split a command into tokens. Split command into tokens. It will be static std, and it will be vector of std string, and the name will be splitArgs, which will get the constant std string input, and let's include vector header, and of course string header. So we need, okay, it's happy now. And actually, we will not have anything private this class, but we will have another function for building a response command from vector of the arguments, which I will come to later. Let's start with our command handler. I say include CommandHandler.h, and we have it here. It will be this is the option, and we don't need static here. We already set it in the header. Okay, so we have a split arguments function which is in the class of command handler, which will return a vector of strings, and we will have a vector of stds string and tokens, which we will return at the end. And we will use regex to match words or quotes, quoted strings for handling simple cases, which I will give my std regex, gx, and regex. So we will have just type it quickly, then we can talk about it later. I need to include regex header. We will check the regex of the words. So just to give an example, we will have in our line, let's say command, which can be anything. Then we will be checking for argument 1 with spaces, for example, and then we will have argument 2, which right now it can be single, and we will have argument 3, for example. And this basically tells us we will looking for a string inside of quotes, which can have spaces, and it will split arguments. Let's continue with words begin. It will be std tokenize regex. If this is a little bit complicated, you can check how to use regex. I have a connection problem again. So iterator, which will get input dot begin and input dot and regex we want. And again we will have auto and the std as regex iterator. So this function provides a singular iterator, and in the first one we are using okay, I have some method problems. Okay, I am back. So regex iterator basically in this let's show. So it can have as a default no parameter, and it can also have up to 4 parameters. So the one we have here, we give it input of the beginning of the input, end of the input, and IGX, regex we want to check. We are giving start of the text range, end of the text range, and regular expressions to match, which will get words begin and words end. And then we will have a for loop, which will be begin. It will iterate over words and it will check as long as we are not in the word end, we will be in the first for loop. I think I'm having problems with my connection again, but I will just type for now and it will work later when I reload the page. So we will have a token which will be string in we are going to we will know quotes if there's quotes. If there's quotes, we will remove them. Let's say token.size. If it is larger or equals to 2, token font beginning of the token is quote character, and also the end of token, the back of token will be the same. If that's the case, we want to remove them. Token equals token dot substring 1 token dot size -2 because the 2 quotes we will be removing, and after removing the quotes we will push them in our vector and then we will be returning tokens. I will just delete this comment, and now I guess our function should compile. Yes, it does compile. Okay, let's go back to our client CPP and start splitting commands into tokens. So we will test if split arguments function is working or not. What I was saying. So first we will have std vector string, which will be called arguments, and in command handler we will get split args function, and we will give it the line, and it will return us the arguments. So I assume I am missing vectors plus vector, and we also need to include CommandHandler.h. Actually, I will get vector here. Also, yeah. So yes, now I can access command handler class out of the header file. This will basically get arguments for us, and after that we will check if arguments are empty. If they are empty, we will basically say continue, and let's get a for loop for our args. I was about to write Python for now I say for first auto arg in arguments. We say ctc out argument and leave line. Now let's say make that we are connected, so I will give it a command something and something. As you can see, it is parsing and printing our command again, something, another thing, something definitely else, and yes, it is getting rid of codes or empty lines, so our command split arguments function in command handler class is working fine. I would say this is enough for this video, and we will continue in the next part by getting respond commands using arguments. Thank you for watching. See you next time.